What we have here today is what started as a auto theft investigation, which led to an officer-involved shooting. Unfortunately, the suspect did not survive the injury. He is pronounced deceased in a medical center. The incident occurred in this exactly behind me at the Family Dollar store at the 12,375 block of Martin Luther King Boulevard. To put in perspective, it is actually at the MLK and East Orem in the southeast part of town. So at approximately 2:30 p.m. today, our officer found a stolen vehicle. What you see behind me is right behind me, a Honda Civic in the parking lot of the Family Dollar. So as the officer approached the vehicle and blocked it in to investigate what he believed to be a stolen vehicle at the time. At the same time, he approached the vehicle to the driver's side, found the vehicle was occupied what appears to be one occupant, single occupant, which is a African-American male, approximately 40 years of age. Now, I do want to emphasize, this is a preliminary investigation. What we have is just, we have a snapshot view of what occurred, and it's going to take a lengthy process to thoroughly investigate the entire case, right? So this is, I say again, a preliminary investigation. As the officer approached and confront the driver and asked the driver to step out of the vehicle, at the same moment, the driver actually put the car in reverse and backed and rammed into the patrol car. After multiple commands for the suspect to exit the vehicle, he finally exited, and officer attempted to detain the suspect, which subsequently led to a struggle between the suspect and the officer. And officer as the officer attempted to gain control of the suspect during the struggle, at one point, the suspect actually got on top of the officer. And at the same time, the officer also discovered that his CED, basically also known as a taser, was knocked off and he was disarmed by the suspect. So in fear of his safety and his life, he discharged one time and gained control of the scene. At the same moment, there was also a female around the suspect. The female, which at this time is believed to be a family member or girlfriend of the deceased suspect, right? At this time, I would like to open up for any additional questions you guys may have.
Was the suspect armed?
At this time, we have not recovered a firearm. We don't believe it's armed at this time.
Why did the officer think the car was stolen? Was he?
So basically, he was checking the plate and found a car to be stolen. As we discovered, the vehicle is involved in a robbery, was taken during a robbery at approximately 1 a.m. this morning.
So was that an armed robbery?
It is believed the initial robbery was a strong arm robbery, right? The vehicle was taken during a robbery.
Okay, so was the owner of the car, the driver of the car was in it and then had to...
It appears to be that way, but I have not get a chance to thoroughly review that case yet, so.
Okay.
Is the officer hurt or anything?
The officer sustained some minor injuries, some minor, bruises and bumps. So you can only imagine he is extremely shaken up right now, right? So
Did the store have anything to do with it other than just a parking lot?
it's just at the parking lot, but I can only imagine. You drove up to a parking lot with a stolen vehicle and right in the store parking lot. That's why you approached the vehicle to investigate.
And is there any security camera video from the store of the incident?
So this is going to be part of an investigation. Based on our preliminary investigation right now, we don't believe there are any at this time, at least any functional surveillance video with the business, right? But here's the reality. This investigation will get thoroughly investigated. Our investigators from the special investigation units that's on scene investigating, and also just like any officer-involved shooting, our partners with the district attorney's office is also running a concurrent investigation. At the same time, our internal affairs division is running basically also a administrative investigation, right? And like anything else, per policy, all the officer-involved shootings video footage and will be released within 30 days. As anywhere else, the officer per policy as well will be placed on administrative duties during the course of the investigation.
Do you have an ID on the suspect?
So we have, as you can imagine, right, the family has not been notified yet, so I do want to respect the process, right, until all the notification is getting disseminated. So I will ask you guys, once those informations are available, we'll definitely disseminate that out.
Can you tell us anything about the officer's experience? How long he's been?
So the officer has approximately 7 years on the department. He's in his mid-30s. He's currently assigned to the gang division.
The suspect, any criminal history that you know of?
So yes, so the suspect, as mentioned earlier, in his early 40s, African American male. It is believed at this time, right? We still, it's part of an investigation that he is probably has two open felony warrants.
Where was he shot? Where was the suspect shot?
From based on what I've gathered so far, basically in the upper, torso area. So.
And the woman, was she in the car, the witness, or was she coming out of the
So yeah,
car?
so this is going to be part of the investigation. Based on the preliminary investigation information I have so far, during the struggle with the suspect, the female just approaching the officer, right? What appears to be a family member.
Did she attack or join the fight, or did she stay back?
No, she just kind of hang back, kind of in a way, but not really like, taking any aggressive stance.
Okay.
You said that the officer was disarmed, but he was the taser that he took, not the...
The taser, correct. That was the taser that was taken.
Oh, so the suspect actually took the taser or knocked it off?
Yeah, at some point, right? So again, this is all preliminary. The view, from the cameras is extremely limited. So, as always, this is a busy street, right? And I can imagine probably a lot of traffic going back and forth. And there's a lot of witnesses out here, right? I'm pretty confident that there's some witnesses probably saw what happened, right? So I do encourage you guys to have any cell phone videos or witness any part of the incident to come forward or contact our homicide division. Number is 713-308-3600.
Just to be clear, you said the taser did discharge?
The taser did not discharge, but it was knocked off the officer. Correct, yeah.
And just, was that auto theft, the original auto theft at 1 this morning, was that nearby in this neighborhood, or?
So based on what we gathered from the preliminary investigation, it's probably in the vicinity of probably downtown around Fannin, that area. So.
Okay, all right. And as far your early indication is that it was an armed robbery, that the car was taken from the driver at gunpoint?
No, it was not an armed robbery that we know of. It's a strong armed robbery, basically by force, but taken by force, right?
But not with a weapon?
Not with a weapon that we know of.
Okay.
And the suspect died at the hospital or on the way?
So when the suspect was transported, he was in critical condition. When it got to the medical center, he was pronounced deceased at the medical center.
The officer about the body camera, was there a camera in the vehicle too, in his vehicle?
So, well, it's actually going to be part of the investigation. What I gather right now is I don't believe there's a dash cam, but the officer does have his body cam on. At some point, that body cam was even knocked off. You can only imagine, right?
Yeah.
It's in the middle of the struggle between the officer and the suspect.
Okay, is it normal for the unit not to have a dash cam?
Well, you know what? That's a good question. So, we do have some equipment to have some dash cam, right? But not all our vehicle has dash cam, so at the time.
You
Anything else?
mentioned, again, the experience of the officers, how many years?
Approximately 7 years.
And first name, how do you spell your first name, sir?
My first name is Ban, B-A-N,
B-A-N.
and last name T-N-T-I-E-N.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.